Hello, my name is Eric Cervantes, and my presentation compares the struggles of workers in the Gilded Age to workers today and how civic agency like unions and strikes helped people push for fairness. So, why compare the Gilded Age to today? Um, Both the Gilded Age and today have rising inequality. The middle class feels unstable, corporations have huge influence, and workers feel the pressure and insecurity. So we could see a big correlation, like very similar, uh, from people complaining about today, low pay, unsafe work, instability. Those things were also big problems in the 1800s. Basically, like the quote says, the past repeats itself. So during this era, new industrial America, we saw huge growths in factories, railroads, steel, etc. There was also hyper rich or extremely rich people or businessmen such as Robert Barons. Also, an introduction to workers having incredible long hours at work, very low wages, and extremely unsafe jobs. And shocker, the government mostly sided with the businesses. And almost identical to today, in the past also, most of the wealth went upwards and the workers paid the price. The life of the average worker was not sunshine and rainbows. It was rough and dangerous. But what happened? Did it stay like this the whole time? Of course not. Workers organized for justice. It came to a point where workers realized they needed to get their act together. So they formed unions, such as the Knights of Labor. They organized strikes and demanded rights. Essentially, civic agency meant that regular people were pushing back against these big companies or businesses. And it's really what we were talking this whole semester, the civic agency. It really shows up here because people didn't just accept their situations, they organized and fought back. An example of this is the Pullman strike of 1894. Pullman is a company that cut wages, but the workers' rent stayed high. Because of this, the workers went on strike. Eugene V. Debs became the key leader of this strike, and the government retaliated and sent troops, which incited violence. Now, this whole event sparked national debate about workers' rights. And overall, this strike showed that the power of the workers, like it showed the power of the workers, but in the other light, it also showed how far the government would go to protect these big corporations because of the profit that they made. Two very important things to keep in mind. Another event was the Triangle Shirt Waste Factory fire in 1911. This event took the lives of 146 workers, and they died because the doors were locked of the factory, and the building was overall unsafe. This caused public outrage, and it led to major safety laws, and also boosted the initiative for unions or the creation of unions. So yeah, this event tragically forced the government to finally take workplace safety seriously. Prior to this, it was just basically what made most profit. It was insane. So I have right here just three primary sources here. First one is Carnegie Wealth, 1889, where the rich justify inequality. Debs Court Statement, 1895. It defends workers and strikes. Sherman Antitrust Act, 1890, tries to limit monopolies. These sources show that the three sides of the struggle, the wealth, the wealthy defending the system, workers fighting it, and the government slowly stepping in. So now connecting it to today. Today we're seeing wage stagnation, rising cost of living, gig jobs replacing stable jobs. So, like Uber and all that type of little, jobs. Corporation consolidation, new unions forming today, such as the ones in Amazon and Starbucks. And this basically is just the modernization of what the people back in the day were feeling. A lot of these issues, such as the people struggling, prices going up, corporate power, they're just reskins of events that happened in the past. Of course, it has a new spin to it due to modern technologies such as social media, phones, and whatnot. But a lot of it's basically just a mirrored image. Now, the biggest takeaway that we could take from this comparison of the past to the present is that inequality does not fix itself. Civic agency is collective action. Laws and rights came from the workers' pressure. It did not come from the goodness of the heart of the corporations. And democracy grows when the people participate. So, yeah, change happened because people didn't stay silent, and that is the collective lesson here. Ordinary people can force reform. You don't have to be some politician or big shot politician or whatever, or have lots of money, but there is power in numbers, and that's very important. And again, why does this history still matter? It's because essentially this is a blueprint that of that is happening right now. It essentially is we're looking into the future in a way It's our way of guiding ourselves and seeing what could be adjusted in order for things to come out better at the end of the day. It really enforces the idea of civic agency shaping things and making things better for overall people or the common person. It really makes us use our history to guide our future actions. And that is the end of this presentation. Thank you for listening.